All right, so we are back. Hi guys, so welcome back to Excel Island. Welcome back to the channel. If you're an existing subscriber, and welcome to a new subscriber. So my name is Abatan Sheriffdeen. So and basically what I've been doing so far on this channel is sorry about that. So I've been live streaming my learning journey using the Datacamp resources. So I'm currently subscribed to a 1 year subscription on the Datacamp platform, and I've been learning every day for the past 53 days. You get it now. And the goal is to learn consistently every day for at least 30, 45 minutes to 1 hour for the next 100 days. And that's really, really amazing. It has been challenging, lot of challenges. I have to make sure I do this within 24 hours every day. So far, so good. I've been able to achieve that after completing almost 7 courses in the career track data analyst in SQL. So you see, there's also some certification that comes along with it. You get it now. So I've been achieved a total SP of over 4,000. So learning for the past 52 days. Today's day 53. You get it now. I've completed over 7 courses, and this is the career track that I am on. I am on this career track, data analyst in SQL. You can see that my goal is after completing this career track, I would love to start the data analyst in Power BI career track also. Yes, now. So this data analyst in SQL career track contains 11 courses, 11 courses so far. So I've been able to complete 7 courses out of that 11 courses so far. So one track has been completed. You get it now. So let me show you what it looks like. So you can see it contains 11 courses. So I've been able to complete within the last 52 days. I've completed 7 courses. I'm on the eighth course, so which is exploratory data analysis in SQL. You get it now. So that's basically what I've been doing so far. So I also share content on Excel. So hopefully we add Power BI and Python to it. So you basically see content on Excel and SQL, the live streaming of my SQL on the channel. So you also see content about freelancing and remote work. And actually, I'm a top rated plus freelance data analyst using the Upwork platform. So I've had major success on the platform. So I'm trying to take that knowledge also to other platforms like LinkedIn and so on. And I have a coach who has been coaching me about all that for the past 2, 3, getting close to 4, 5 years now. So his name is Ben Gadebi. So he's a freelance, highly top rated freelance coach, and has a course currently called the Freelance Clients Magnet course. And what this course does is that it teaches you how to become a successful freelancer on major platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, and LinkedIn, also using remote job website. You also learn how to optimize your social media accounts to position yourself to potential clients. And you can also use your social media account as your personal website to work to land gigs and make money from freelancing. So I'll leave a link to the course under the YouTube description. You can also check out the Ngadi's BE profile on Twitter. So this is the Ngadi BE. You can check out his profile on Twitter. Check out his pinned tweets. You see thousands of testimonials from what from freelancers that he has coached personally. So do check out the course under the YouTube description. So back to my learning. So I want to start this chapter 8 of this course today. Course exploratory data analysis in SQL. You get it down. So I'll just go back to here to the git. So I'll just go back to the course here. I'll start this chapter right now. So I do have a couple of weak areas to review. So I'll just review this later. I'll go back to the course here. So let's do some exploratory data analysis. So under each course, it always contains 4 chapters. So each course in the track contains 4 chapters. You see. So this is like going back to what is database, exploratory category, then 4 chapters. So you get now. So let me just download the slide to this chapter. Just download the slide to this chapter. So I've downloaded that. So I'll just open that in on my second screen. So I want to launch the slide. And we can start. So let's learn for the next 30, 45 minutes, 1 hour.
Hi, my name is Christina Maimone. I'm a data scientist at Northwestern University, where I help researchers with their data challenges. In this course, you'll learn how to explore a SQL database, summarize different types of data, and deal with messy data. You've already learned a number of skills in the previous SQL courses that will help you with these tasks. In this chapter, we'll review some of those skills, pick up some new ones, and see how they apply to exploratory data analysis. One note before we start. This course uses Postgres. Many of the functions we'll use are also available in other SQL database systems, but their names or syntax may be different. If you're using another database system, you should refer to the system's documentation to learn the correct syntax. With that, let's get started. You've finally been granted access to your company's database. Yay! But where do you begin? What are the tables? How are they related? What columns exist in the tables? A database client is a program used to connect to and work with a database. There are many different database clients. Each one has a different way to retrieve information on the table names, the columns in each table, and the formal relationships between tables. Refer to your client program's documentation to find the commands to extract this information. You may also be given information about the structure of the database from the database owner or creator. One type of documentation is an entity relationship diagram that shows the tables, their columns, and the relationships between the tables. Here's the entity relationship diagram for the database for this course. There are 6 tables. The Evanston 311 table contains help requests sent to the city of Evanston, Illinois. Fortune 500 contains information on the 500 largest U.S. companies by revenue from 2017. Stack Overflow contains data from the popular programming question and answer site. It includes daily counts of the number of questions that were tagged as being related to select technology companies. Company, and tag type are supporting tables with additional information related to the Stack Overflow data. Once you know the names of the tables in the database, one way to get a sense of what's in a table is to simply select a few rows from it. Here we use the star to select all columns from the company table and use limit to return only 5 rows. Remember that the rows returned from a table are in no particular order by default. As you start to explore the contents of a table, keep a few additional things in mind. Null indicates missing data in a database. To check which values are null, use isNull or isNotNull, not an equal sign. The count function with a star counts the number of rows. If you instead supply a column name to the count function, this counts the number of non-null observations in the column. This is equal to the total number of rows minus the number of null values. If you count the distinct values of a column, you'll get the number of different non-null values in the column. But if you select those distinct values directly, null will be included as a value if it exists in the column, even though it isn't counted by the count function.
So you see count distinct column, number of different non-null values.
Total number of rows minus the number of null values. If you count the distinct values are null, use isNull or isNotNull, not an equal sign. The count function with a star counts the number of rows. If you instead supply a column name to the count function, this counts the number of non-null observations in the column. This is equal to the total number of rows minus the number of null values. If you count the distinct values of a column, you'll get the number of different non-null values in the column.
If you count the distinct values, if you count the distinct values of a column, you will get the number of different non-null values in the column. Correct?
Values in the column. But if you select those distinct values directly, null will be included as a value if it exists in the column, even though it isn't counted by the count function. With those tips in mind, it's time to start exploring the course database through exercises.
Okay, let's see. Let's practice some coding. So explore table sizes. So let's start by exploring 5 related tables. Stack Overflow. Question asked on Stack Overflow with certain tags. Company, which is information on companies related to tags in Stack Overflow. Tag company, links to Stack Overflow to company. Okay, tag type of categories apply to tags in Stack Overflow table. Then we have the 4500, which is information of the top US company. So count the number of rows in a table with select count star from tables. So count the number of columns in a table by selecting a few rows and manually counting the number of columns in the result. Which table has the most rows? Which table has the most columns? So the instruction says count the number of columns in a table by selecting a few rows and manually counting the columns in the result. Selecting a few rows. So let's count the number of columns. You can start one of the table for us. It says count the number of rows in a table with count the number of columns in a table by selecting a few rows and manually counting the columns in the result. Oh, what did I do there? I was supposed to read the code. I went to reset. This one's 4,000 rows or 45,000 rows. So let's start from here. This is definitely not fast. Waiting for the code to complete. 33,000, 36,000. Well, let me just go for Stack Overflow, which has 4,000. Then the tag company, then the tag company. This is so it's definitely Stack Overflow has most rows. Let's see tag type. Tag type. stack type. So Stack Overflow has most rows. So the answer is between first option and top third option. But let's check the company which has the most columns. Okay, company. How many columns does company have? One, two, three, four, five. What about 4 to 500? One, two, three, four, five. So the third option definitely the answer. So that is the answer. The counting missing values. So which column of 14500 has the most missing values? To find out, you will need to check each column individually, although you will check just three. Course notes. While you are unlikely to encounter this issue during this exercise, note that if you run a query that takes more than a few seconds to execute, your mission may expire or you may be disconnected from the server. You will not have this issue with any of the exercises solutions. So if your session expires or disconnects, there's an error with your query. Okay. Which column of the 4500, okay, 4500 table has the most missing value? To find out, you will need to check each column individually, although we will only check just three. So first, figure out how many rows are in the 14 by counting them. Want to know the number of rows in the 4500 table? You could just use select star, select count star there. So that will be count star. Oops. You have just 500 rows there. Just to me that. So subtract, the second instruction says subtract the count of non-value, non-nautical values from the total number of rows, alias the difference as missing. So select the count of ticker, okay. This is the column ticker, subtract from the total number of rows and alias as missing. Okay, so select count, then count of the ticker column as alias as what? Alias as missing from 4500. So let's check that. So we have 32 missing values from this column. Just let the code there. So repeat for profit change column. So it says tell the count of profit change. Subtract from the total number of rows and aliases as missing. So okay, select count of profit change. Subtract from the total number of rows. Okay, count star. minus the count of profit change. This is the profit change for this column here, right there. From our table 4500, then we have to alias this as missing from here. If you want the code, let's see. We have 63, then we submit that. So repeat for the industry column. So want to do the same thing for the industry column. Let me just come back here, just copy this real quick. Select. So we want to do that for the industry column. Here is the industry column. This is the industry column. You can see the number of missing record in the industry column. So if you run the code, let's check that. You have 13 missing records there, missing rows rather. You could submit that. Aha, good work. Note that the result of a call to count star is labeled count in the result. You can refer to this column with count in order by clause without explicitly aliasing count star as count. Oh, good. Good luck. Note that the result of a call to count star is labeled count in the result. You can refer to this column with count in order by alias clauses without explicitly English is that explicitly aliasing count star as count. Okay. Alright. So what's next? So joining tables. Okay, part of exploring the database is figuring out how tables relate to each other. The company and 4500 tables don't have a formal relationship between them in the database, but this doesn't prevent you from joining them. To join tables, you need to find a column that they have in common where the values are consistent across the tables. Remember, just because two tables have a column with the same name, it doesn't mean those columns necessarily contain compatible data types. That's from data type. So if you found more than one pair of columns with similar data, you may need to try to join with each in turn to see if you get the same number of results. Reference the entity relationship diagram if needed. Okay, so look at the content of company and 4500 tables. Find a column that they have in common where the values for each company are the same in both tables. Look at the company and the 4500 and find a column they have in common. So I think the ID column should be the ID here, exchange, ticker, name, and parent ID, rank. You can see ticker here. Let's see. Exchange. You can see ticker here. We'll be selecting the name column from the company's table, then definitely from company, then we have here the not join clause, let's see, in Agile 4500,